Hey guys, welcome to the Airplane Club. So today we're going to be talking about AI 171, the Air India plane crash that happened in India, Ahmedabad, June 12th, 2025. So this is like the first Boeing 787 crash, like a serious Boeing 787 crash, like with a hull loss so I'm just gonna show you the footage from various sources, and then I'll probably tell you what I think are the theories. So let's begin with this one. That's it. That's the Air India plane crash. And as you can read here, Air India Flight 171 was a scheduled international passenger flight operated by Air India from Ahmedabad Airport in India to London Gatwick Airport in the United Kingdom. At 1:39 Indian Standard Time on 12th June 2025, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner operating the flight crashed approximately 30 seconds after takeoff into the hostel block of BJ Medical College in Meghani Nagar neighborhood of Ahmedabad. So seconds after takeoff, the aircraft began losing altitude while maintaining like a rough wings level and nose up orientation. They issued a mayday call, loss of power and thrust, and it caused like multiple explosions. So guys, yeah, this is an extremely big plane crash, and I made an infographic on this. So as we can see from this infographic, the total fatalities caused by the plane crash is more than 280, and the onboard fatalities, meaning the fatalities like of the passengers that were on the plane, is 241 out of 242. There was one survivor, and it crashed into a residential area on which it caused more than 39 fatalities. So here is the chart. The final 50 seconds of the flight. It takes off. Mayday. And then impact. So guys, the question is, what went wrong? What happened? Why did it happen? Well, the first explanation that's coming out is engine failure, pilot error. But I think pilots nowadays are very attentive. We can't just blame things on them. We need proof. And here is proof. So the footage that Air India had, some experts found out that this part, ram turbine, short, which is also called RAT in short form, was deployed, and it means that it's a type of a machine or a mechanism that deploys when a plane loses engine power and is in desperate need of electricity and power. So the ram turbine obviously doesn't provide thrust to it. It just rotates and provides power for the essential components of the plane to work, and it can deploy automatically as well. So which leads to which leads us to believe that there might have been engine failure. For example, if we search it up here, can the Ram air turbine on a 787 deploy automatically? Can a Ram air turbine on a 787 deploy automatically? Yes, it can deploy automatically in certain emergency situations. Like specifically, it will deploy automatically if there is a dual engine failure, or if all three hydraulic system pressures are low, or if the aircraft loses all electrical power. So people are thinking that it's engine failure, and we'll look at it right now. So do you see this? Yeah. This is the Raman turbine. This is the blast. This is the wreckage. Now, we'll talk about the theories later, but first let's talk about the aircraft. The aircraft involved in the crash was 11-year-old Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, registered VTANB with serial number 36279. So guys, you might be thinking, the crash, like some of you might be thinking, who are not do not know about aviation very well, 11-year-old Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Well, no wonder such an old plane was bound to crash. But but the people who know more about aviation, they'll know that 11 years is like pretty young for an aircraft. Most aircraft serve till 30 years, and 11-year-old aircraft is pretty young. So it's like only 1/3 of its whole lifespan. And now let's talk about the accident. Flight 171 took off from runway 23 of Ahmedabad airport. According to the Meta reports issued around the time of departure, the surface winds at the airport were light, ranging from 3 to 6 knots. The visibility was 6 kilometers, and there were no significant clouds. This is like the perfect weather. And now let's look at the CCTV footage of the crash from the runway, not the populated area. So look, we find it taking off here. It's taking off. As you can see, a perfectly normal takeoff. I can't see anything. Like there's no fire, no problem, no failure of anything, nothing falling out, nothing being broken. It's just coming up and going down. And and as you can see guys, it's going down in an extremely controlled position. More on that later. But if you look at the map here, so it traveled roughly 1.5 kilometers from the airport and just crashed here. It took off and just crashed. So now let's get back to the controlled motion in which the aircraft is falling. So if we search up a video of a plane landing, go here, see this video of just a regular normal plane landing. This is just a normal Emirates A380 landing. Nothing is associated with this. I'm just showing you how a plane lands. You can see it's landing in a controlled motion with the tail part going down below first and the nose remaining up in the air. So I'm just gonna search a normal Boeing 787 landing so that you guys can see it clear, like better. Yeah, we'll just look at this one.
1008, and we check number 1.
As you guys can see, it's like nose is pitching upwards and the tail part is actually, it's going downwards. So this is done to have a smooth, a better landing, and it's controlled by the pilots. Okay, so but what we see in this video is a plane going down, going down in the same way. Just look. You see this, guys? The same landing motion. So it tells us that the pilots were like desperately trying to get the plane up, and they like realized this in time. But unfortunately, the plane crashed. So now, as we come to hear about the one survivor, we'll see where his seat in the plane is through this map. Seat 11A economy. That is the seat of the Air India plane crash survivor. That's it. He came walking out of the wreckage, just walking out injured, like almost everywhere. But how did this happen? Why did it happen? That's the most important question. Why did it happen? So if you look at this video, sorry, wrong one. Yeah. Experts analyze final moments of Air India AI-171 crash, engine failure or flap issue. So let's look at it and see what they say.
And these are questions that are doing the rounds, and we will be getting the expert the world is listening to also in a moment. What happened in the final moments or final seconds before the crash? Did the aircraft suffer a technical malfunction as is being suggested mid-air? Was it human error, or could it have been bird strikes a contributory factor? Is it too early to speculate as to what happened to flight AI-171? We'll try and get clues to this. Joining us now first are experts. Captain Mohan Ranganathan is a leading aviation safety expert, someone I've known for years. Sean Prorinci is a former pilot. He joins us as well. And Marco Chan is senior lecturer, aviation operations at Buckinghamshire New University. Thank you all very much for joining us. I want to come to you, Captain Ranganath, first. What's your sense? You've seen those visuals. Do you...
See, what I can make out from the video, one, I want to emphasize, these are the CCTV footage, which are low resolution cameras and taken from a distance. So trying to zoom in and trying to isolate parts of aircraft which are blurred.
See guys, this is the control motion I was talking about earlier. Now let's continue with the video.
We cannot conclude with definite proof that, the speculation about the flaps being retracted or, the other part. But what I can see from the angle of the liftoff, apart from what I've said earlier, one, it could be bird ingestion, though people say they don't see the birds, but if they are at low level from this distance with a low resolution camera, you cannot make out if there are birds. But you can see that the grass height is quite high, but you see at one point, just after liftoff, the body angle is shallow. It is not the usual liftoff angle, which means it is not developing the thrust that is required. So it could be either a compressor stall, or it could be due to a bird strike or foreign object ingestion into the engine, which has caused that. But one thing which a lot of people don't seem to, the Boeing design, if you look at the old manuals, the design was it flies interim speed. And when they say interim speed, it is what you use with your stab trim. So if the stab trim is used, if you're looking at the way the nose pitches up before it stalls, I feel that they've used the stab trim to relieve the pressure in the hand. And if you relax your controls even for a second, the nose will pitch up. And that is why you have the sharp pitch up before the stall. And the angle at which you find the tail on the building, it's a clear indication that it had not flown into the building, it has stalled into the building. So now that they found the DFDR, it'll completely identify and put an end to any speculation. And I'm more.
Yeah, guys, so what we can see from what I can understand from this video, the captain basically talks about the possibility of a stall or the possibility of a bird strike. So as shown, like the tail is on the building, like it's wedged into the building, which actually shows like it was trying to pitch up, which it was, and then the whole plane crashed and the tail got stuck in the building. So I think this can tell us that the plane was trying to pitch up. Either it was like the pilots were trying to, save the plane and the people and everyone else, or the plane stalled. Dual engine failure is pretty rare, like nowadays, but it's still a possibility. And now this video will not be watching, but it says that
Now the investigation into the deadly crash of
fuel contamination might be suspected in AI 171. So guys, let's search up what fuel contamination is. And I'm going to search what is it. And as Gemini says, fuel contamination in an aircraft refers to the presence of unwanted substances in the fuel which can compromise its quality and performance. These can include water, particulate matter, microbial growth, and other petroleum products or their residues. Such contamination can lead to various issues, including engine malfunctions, clogged fuel filters, or even catastrophic failures. This is a theory. Now, if you go to the official Air India flight and see what it's written, updates on AI 171. They've just been cancelling flights, performing more and more maintenance, safety checks and stuff. So now let's see what we know about the survivor, who is a British citizen. His name was Vishwas Kumar Ramesh. He said that 30 seconds after takeoff there was a loud noise and then the plane crashed. It all happened so quickly. It quoted him as saying in an interview at the hospital where he was being treated. What could be the loud noise? Could it be the engines failing? Could it be a bird strike? What would it be? He said he had been visiting family and was returning to the UK with his brother who had been sitting in a different row. He didn't know if his brother had survived, he said. Air India later confirmed that of the 242 people on board the flight, 241 had died, making him the sole survivor. He had some blood. He wasn't badly injured. He was comfortable and under strict observation, with like no issues. But Indian news outlets have shared a photo of his boarding pass, which indicates that he was in seat 11 of the flight in the emergency exit row just in front of the plane's left wing. The seat is right where the spar of the wing would go under it, and it would be a solid place for the aircraft to hit the ground. But as far as survivability above it, that is incredibly surprising, he told CNN. So now this is just a side news. On June 13, Ahmedabad's BJ Medical College received an email referencing the Air India crash. We crashed the Air India plane yesterday. You thought it was a hoax. Now you know we are serious. The email warned that more attacks would follow. Investigation revealed that the threat was also sent by someone as part of a plan to escalate fear and implicate her colleague. Like, this is extremely bad. People are taking advantage of this crash to hurt people. And this is pretty serious, don't get me wrong. So now, guys, I've made a full crash analysis on this thing, on this plane crash over here. It has everything. I put some tabs in, so and I'll be sharing it in the description below. I'll also be posting it in my website, theairplaneclub.com. And so now let's go to flight details. Flight number AR171 VTNB Boeing 787 Dreamliner, 230 passengers, 12 crew. These are basically the details of the flight. And now we'll read about the ram turbine. It suggests a significant loss of engine power or thrust occurred shortly after takeoff. Supporting this theory is the flight crew's main recall, expressly reporting loss of power and thrust. Another expert suggested that a double engine failure, possibly triggered by a bird strike, is the most likely cause given the aircraft's low altitude at the time of the reported power loss. Air India, however, some information. Okay, Air India has maintained that both engines was regularly monitored and showed new issues before the flight. Okay. So guys, I have made an infographic on this, which contain like all the information, and you can see here how many victims were there. 53 British fatalities, 169 Indian, 7 Portuguese, and if we just take out one of these, we'll see the Canadian fatalities 1. So what are the leading theories that I put into this? So the first one is obviously engine and power failure, crew reported loss of power and thrust. Emergency ram turbine RAT was likely activated, but Air India stated no prior engine issues were recorded. Performance in an environment: high temperatures reduce air density, impacting engine and wing performance. The captain's unusual full runway takeoff may hint at performance concerns. So, guys, it is like a heat wave is literally going on in India. In India, it's literally so hot, and like 40 degrees, full runway length. It's unlikely the plane was critically overweight. Yeah, so it is pretty hot, and how a plane flies, it depends on its wings actually. So the airplane's wings have an aerodynamic design that actually allows air to go beneath the wings and push it upwards so that the plane can go upwards. That's how airplanes fly, all because of the wings and the engines. And this is called lift. And to get lift, you need thrust, which is like because of the engines. So if you don't have thrust, you can't get lift. And drag and weight are also there. Drag, so weight is basically all the weight weighing down the plane, which is the opposite of lift. And drag is like the what do you call? Yeah, it's the resistance of the plane, just moving, like friction. Like as we walk on the, like, if we run, we cannot keep running because there's friction stopping us, and that's why we get tired. I think. Yeah, so this might be that because if the for example, if the engines failed, and so there is no thrust, and if there is no thrust, the airplane won't be able to get enough speed to maintain lift, and therefore it might crash. Aerodynamic configuration visual suggests landing gear was down too long and the plane pitched up while losing altitude, indicating a potential stall or lack of lift. Gear down, high nose up angle, possible human retracting flaps instead of gear. Okay, guys, I don't believe this theory. Those who have been able to realize what I did wrong, good job. But those who think this theory is true, it is completely false. Yeah, I purposely put it so I could explain it to you guys. So if you are viewing the infographic later, just ignore this. Like, what is this? Human error, retracting flaps instead of gear. This point is the point I put on purpose, because I knew it is wrong. Flaps instead of gear? Like, for pilots, it's muscle memory. Like, flaps are here and like gear is there. It would be impossible to like mistake one for the other. Like, they are like so far away from each other. It's like you're saying like the app buttons on the top, the bottom of a remote, like Netflix, YouTube are there, and the close button is usually like close and switch on. The power button is usually on the front. So like, guys, it's muscle memory for us. Like, while switching on the TV, while switching off the TV, we wouldn't press like Netflix or YouTube or something. It's muscle memory for us. It's like simple. Bird strikes, that's it. So India's DGCA immediately mandated enhanced safety inspections across Air India's entire fleet of 33 Boeing 787 Dreamliners. So look, this is another graph, like infographic on this. This is a graph, and like Air India has been compensating people, but I think what we all want to know, why did it crash? But that's a question we can say for later, because we don't know. Now there is one last thing left. Just one last thing. Yes, if you guessed it, good job. If you didn't, well, let me tell you, the black box. See, for the people who are watching this and don't know, I'll just search it up. A black box is a small device that records information about an aircraft during its flight. It helps in the investigation of unlikely aviation accidents. So yeah, and so you might be thinking, oh wait, then we can easily look at the audio and the mechanical recordings of the plane. Well, the thing is that the black box got damaged, and like the authorities are currently like, by the information that I know, I can tell you that they're thinking of sending it to the US, Singapore, UK, or some place where it can be like investigated thoroughly. I just hope that it isn't damaged beyond retrieval. So let's just search up black box Air India 171, and this shows us the 19 hours ago post. The black box of the Air India jet that crashed and killed 271 people is still in India and is being examined by the aircraft accident investigation body. It's still in India, and they are thinking of sending it to like other countries for retrieval. So guys, I've told you everything I know, every detail I had, but we'll all be able to solve it once the black box's recordings are retrieved. That's it. Once the black box comes, it's all clear. We'll finally know why the plane crashed. So guys, see you until next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be sharing the detailed document and the infographic in the description below. This is the report number 1. Once I get more info on this, I'll make report number 2. See you soon.